Hello, Danny. Hello, Drac.
GM.
GM. And GM to all you out there watching us live right now, all 500 and something of you. I hope everyone's doing well. You guys doing well? Emotionally?
Hanging in there, man. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind with the charts and everything, especially just with like tariffs over the weekend. They said we're off. They were blocked by the court. Everything pumped. They said, never mind. The tariffs are still here. When is it going to end? It'll
never end, dude. The show's going to go on forever. And that's the beauty of it, Dracula. It's an eternal dance. We're going to go back and forth on tariffs forever. So you and I will always have something to talk about. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, job security there.
Dude.
So we got our special guest today. How's it going, Daniele?
I have all my special feelings for this beautiful week.
Yeah, you guys have been busy, and then you've had like some stuff going on top of it. So
yeah, let's say that these Chinese shipping fleets that I'm sending constantly are not enough to change the tariffs. I've been tariffed very hard on my shipping, so that's what has been happening so far. So good though. I'm still here. Always here.
Yeah, everyone's Ethereum is being held up at the docks because of the tariffs. I hear that's why the price, has been so strange.
Which price? We don't talk about price.
Yeah, we don't talk about price. Forget the price. We don't talk about the price anymore. I want to talk about other. Wait, did we want to talk about charts today or not? Because we can go blast.
Of course, we can. We should talk about charts and cry about it, bro.
All right, yeah.
That's life.
Right? Yeah.
We all grown up men. We take the beating, and we stand up.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
it's not too bad.
This is this is always like my hopium is the Bitcoin weekly. Just looking at it when you're looking at like the higher time frames or whatever, you realize it's still not totally all doom and gloom. Bitcoin is still like holding resistance, support. Sorry, still holding support. I wouldn't be shocked to see us break down into like this area that's where we were kind of like we've just been kind of going back and forth for so long. But the way I see it, even with everything that's happening in the macro, I mean, it's hard to not be bullish when Bitcoin is over 100K still. It's like everybody's like the sky's falling, but as far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin's sticking around in the 90s, low 100s. I think we're still hanging in there.
Yeah, seems like the party's still going to be going. I don't know what this necessarily means for alts, if it's necessarily good for us, but
pulling up the good old dominance chart, we still just can't catch a break with the Bitcoin dominance. It dipped, recently below 60%. Everybody said, all right, it's on. It's time. Get ready. It's alt season. And we're back to like 64% now. And it's not the end all be all. I mean, we've discussed this so many times on the show that, maybe these cycles are changing, because just of the nature of everything now with the ETFs and a lot more institutional stuff going on. But I still just find it hard to imagine that we're going to have like this crazy altcoin run with Bitcoin at 65% dominance. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to imagine, especially considering where everything is at now. The market's in chaos right now. We had a goggles pump while S was dumping yesterday. It's impossible to say what's going to happen now. I'm completely adrift right now, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the alt L1s are especially taking a beating, when we're in these moments of the market pulling back. If you want a little hopium on the S chart, I was talking to some people about this earlier. Let me see if I can. All right, here we go. I think that, obviously this like 40 cents, 39 cents area has been like a bottom out zone pretty much since S is launched. So that's my hopium right now is I think 39, 38 cents reverse. Maybe the macro improves here a little bit and we're back on track. That's the hope. That's the goal.
Yeah. I mean, that's you're right in that this is like the area where it usually accumulates. You know what it is, Drac?
What's that?
Because I was too excited. I was too excited at like 45, and so I went big on it, and then I've just been suffering ever since. And so all the FUD on the timeline hits me even harder.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, and I'm sure Daniele can attest to this, that sometimes when it comes to Fantom or S, there is kind of like this like special negativity sometimes that kind of can spread on the timeline where people just get really down about it and everybody's fudding, and it's like, let's stop fudding our bags. Let's flip it around here. Let's get bullish, right? I mean, like I said, if you're looking at the chart and you're zooming out, this should be a good zone to accumulate, maybe, flip here. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, we still have to wait for some of this macro stuff to clear up, which, obviously there's only so much that can be controlled with that. You can't just run pure TA. So
True. All right. Well, what can we say about this chart right now? Maybe bottoms out here.
I can give you some bullish views on S, some hopium on the other side of the trench.
Yeah.
So what I see is that we are getting interesting traction on a chain called Hyper EVM. I would argue that S technology, if you look at it on a pure tech level, is definitely superior. We are having also other deployments coming around like Katana. I don't know if you're familiar with that, which is taking some of the ideas from the GMSONIC ecosystem and is bringing it to a layer 2 directly, which is like incentivizing gas fees and incentivizing deployments and redistributing DeFi. So I'm looking at things in a very long cycle basis. And I feel like DeFi in general is about primed to come back, especially if you look at DeFi in terms of trading specifically and on-chain trading. We have a super bullish outlook in the volumes on the Binance Alpha that has been doing super well. If you look at the past couple of weeks since launch of Binance Alpha support of Sonic ecosystem, we have seen that we outperformed with the Anon most of the Solana coins. Can you imagine that? Like in trading volumes. So that tells you that actually the instant finality type of situation and the feeling that you have upon trading with the more advanced interfaces is actually what Sonic is capable of bringing to the table. It's just that, first of all, I myself don't have time to do the more projects, but in reality, I would say that what we really need on the Sonic ecosystem right now is perpetuals. Like a good perpetuals experience that has a very, very smooth deposit and execution with limit orders, trading stop losses, and that would really bring a lot of value to the table right now, because it's like I've been trenching a lot, guys, that have been developing a lot of like the lower end of the crypto spectrum. And what I realized, and I've been also like around, and recently people has been recognizing me again, like in shops and things like that. And most of the people is like, I follow you because like I have like $100. I want to figure out how I can turn this $100 to 1,000. Like not to 1 million. Like, and that is completely realistic in the crypto environment that we have right now. On the other hand, like I feel like Solana with Bloom and all this Axiom and all of this has just taken with Jito that instant feeling of trading into their own hands by paying, but Sonic has it without paying. You know, like that's an interesting look
Yeah.
out of what it can become. And that's what I would focus if I were the leader of the Sonic ecosystem. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree that you know, even if you're looking at Hyperliquid, there are some things on the technical side that people often point out that can be maybe concerning, because obviously, you know, running on a certain tech stack, you know, they are basically executing instantly when things are not necessarily totally worked out on the back end. And you know, like you're saying here, I mean, you know, Sonic could actually have the ability to execute these things in real time, and you could have that trading experience that is more of like a advanced, you know, sex front end or whatever that people are used to, but actually having it execute instantly on chain. And it would be huge because, you know, I pulled up this chart, this post here from our home base Sonic ecosystem. But literally what it's showing here is despite whatever's going on in the market, you are looking at almost every metric on Sonic increasing: daily transactions, on-chain volume, TVL, unique addresses. So yeah, I mean, it would be a perfect time to, you know, drop some kind of high-end perps, you know, just to really bring in like even more traders and even more of that volume.
Just perps. Like the reality is that what you want is perps. Like and the team that manages these perps properly. You know, like that least thing in the right moment. Like and that's all you need. Like we need to be kind of realistic. There is no fucking bull market right now, and Bitcoin is being Bitcoin, which it's scary because as all the institution has bought it, it's not a crypto asset anymore.
Yeah.
Like in my
Yeah.
opinion, Bitcoin it's a traditional asset at the moment,
Yes.
and reflects on the price. Like the availability of Bitcoin is what it is, so it detaches from our market. And this is, we see it, like there is no alt season anymore. There is a crypto season or there isn't. And we can't rely on Bitcoin going to 120,000 thinking that that is going to be the traction, because the buyers that are buying Bitcoin are not participating at all into our economy, and they have absolute no interest on it, like zero. Like you see it clearly.
And we were talking about this literally like either a week ago or last episode, this exact same point, how it does make trying to figure out what's happening with alts more complicated, because it's like you're saying, a lot of these people that are in Bitcoin now, they're not rotating to anything else, you know? I mean, and that's how, when everything was only on chain, that's how it was you pushed a new Bitcoin all-time high, you stabilized, then you started rotating to Ethereum and alts to, you know, capture some more ROI. And yeah, like that's something that I think has to be taken into account, that people that are plugging money into these ETFs, they are not players that are rotating into things on chain.
Absolutely. Like it's what it is. Like I know a lot of people with Bitcoin that, like, a part of the fact that maybe now they're starting telling me, hey, Anon is cool just because it's like ChatGPT, you know, but that kind of like mentality, like I can kind of use blockchain technology, but it's not like they don't even think that Bitcoin is like it has nothing. It's a blockchain, you know, like it's not the internet. It's just an asset. Like it's a whole different game. Like they don't have a ledger. They put it on a centralized exchange. That's it. On the one that they like the most, and they keep it there. You know.
Yeah.
Or they bought through one of these ETFs or what. I was just reading about this. Like over 2% of all Bitcoin is owned by MicroStrategy or whatever, but like no one actually owns that Bitcoin. Like he's holding it in like trust, but like no one can use it. It's not like they have it in a wallet. Not like I can borrow against it. It's just.
So what is this? So what it is, if not the most sophisticated Ponzi in the world?
Exactly.
Like it's
very. It's a great Ponzi. It's a fucking amazing Ponzi. The MicroStrategy.
It's yeah. Like it's the mathematical Ponzi. You know, like and nobody uses it. Like I tried to make a transaction recently because I was moving some funds in Bitcoin. It fucking scares me now. I have moved the $400 million in the single transactions, but one fucking Bitcoin, I want to die, bro. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I don't know anymore. There is like 70 type of addresses now. There is like a million things. The game is so fucking complicated and slow that I'm like, I'm not moving this shit. Yeah. Like, nobody uses Bitcoin. Like,
no, I mean, it is true. It's more like putting gold in a safe or something. Like last time I had to move some around, it was the exact same thing. It was like, all right, if you send it to the wrong version and like you're trying to do Lightning and you do the wrong thing, so you're trying to make it fast, you can like basically lose your funds. And it's definitely not like this like practical way to like really pay for anything.
But on the other hand, if I may open this parenthesis while we are talking about this, specifically on the perp trading, I feel like that as Bitcoin has moved into the asset territory, we have this massive opportunity. If I would make a perpetual protocol on Sonic, I would make it old school. I would make it contracts Bitcoin denominated. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like that would be an interesting way to deal with the pairs with everything else and actually yielding Bitcoin denominated trades.
You got to count sats again.
Yeah, and I feel like that would be kind of like a novelty.
And, that would be cool. Like it makes me think of early alt days, like on Binance, where literally the pairs would be in Bitcoin, and you were having to like figure out, okay, this is like this many sats a coin or whatever. And it was like totally different math.
Interface anyway can make it very easy to translate the price into whatever denominated currency you want. But the reality is that by trading Bitcoin in Bitcoin denominated, like you always like earning Bitcoins, which is a switch of mentality, which I feel like it could be particularly positive like way of dealing with the new perp exchange.
Or you think about my home base back then was like BitMEX, and BitMEX
BitMEX,
and they dealt in Bitcoin, like when you had your profits and all that stuff. And honestly, it's a good point, because there was like some extra excitement to it, because when you were making profits and Bitcoin was going up, and you're just watching that number go up, it's like a different kind of,
you're always exposed to like, and this is why sometimes I even pay more. I by the way, as a parenthesis, I trade on Kraken. Okay, like this is my main centralized exchange, and sometimes I open longs on Bitcoin with collateral, because I want my collateral to be Bitcoin all the time. Yeah, you understand? Like, and that's in my opinion a basic way of like wealth generation. Like if we really are crypto native, if we are on chain in some way, I would argue that would be the best way to deal with the perpetual exchange.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would love to see that. And like we were saying, I mean, tech wise, it's primed to execute these things as quickly as you would need them to.
There's got to be one lined up already.
There are some perps on Sonic. There's Vertex, Links. There's a few things that offer.
But you want to deposit, like what I would use it all day. Like I want to deposit freaking wrapper of Bitcoin there, and I want to long whatever. I want to long Bitcoin with Bitcoin. I want to short Bitcoin with Bitcoin. It's a fucking weird way to think about it, but it's amazing, actually. And I want to long ETH. I want to long Sonic. I want to long fucking everything, but my collateral being Bitcoin. And in a way or in another, being able also to generate maybe yield out of it, like even a little bit.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Well, that's like, like we were discussing. I mean, that's what people used to do was like, even if you're shorting Bitcoin, when you're actually shorting Bitcoin to get more Bitcoin, that's what you're trying to do.
Yes.
So
yes, but that's now I want to go away completely from this idea that stablecoins needs to exist anymore. Like Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Reaction.
Like a flying tulip. That's where I'm going, Like that's where I'm going. And if Andre doesn't put Bitcoin on it, I'll fucking fork it. I don't care. Like I'll fork his own thing. I will not put any token on it. But I promise, Andre, I love you, bro. But you need to put Bitcoin collateral on this thing because that's all we need. Like a faucet. Like, if you think about it, how many good quality Bitcoin wrappers has come out actually? Like in the last couple of years, like really good stuff, like that I trust, on chain. Like I don't see the WBTC Alameda bullshit anymore. Like I feel like we are in a good state of the market where we could easily have like a billion TVL on something like this without like being concerned about the wrappers,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, like there's, I mean, it's just that, there are like a handful of products that are done really well. I mean, honestly, with the proper TVL, I mean, not to make things more convoluted, but I mean, with the proper TVL, they could, figure out how to onboard and wrap Bitcoin on the Sonic even, which that would also be really nice,
I think so. There is a lot of AML situations there. That honestly, I would just pick up something like CB, BTC, or something like that because it's already institutionalized. Like just let it be, just to have a curve situation going on in which you can just going in and out how you want if you really want, so you get some extra yield out of it. But make shit simple. Like people want to just click and do their own thing. And as long as there is no KYC involved, and as long as there is a uniqueness to the product and snappiness, then like vaults, all these hyperliquid stuff that are additional, actually nobody really used them. Like it's not so interesting, in my opinion, at least.
I see people use like a lot of the hyperliquid stuff, but I've never played with it, and I feel like a lot of it is just marketing. They want people to try it, but I don't think there really is a lot of demand. It's mainly all in the perps, right? And it's because of that snappiness.
Yeah, I mean because like at the core of it, I mean the EVM itself is just pretty. I mean, I think there are some technical tweaks to it, but it's essentially an L2 EVM stack. So yeah, in terms of the chain, there's actually only like so much that can differentiate it. It's mostly all about the perps on there. But me and Daniele we were talking before the show. I mean, there is like a good bit of stuff going on their chain right now, especially in terms of just like it's in that phase where everybody's got points for stuff. Everybody's farming stuff. They're about to do like another airdrop round or whatever. So in Sonic, we're about to be in the same thing. I mean, we're almost done with season 1 here. I'm imagining that with season 2 coming, in terms of like how long Sonic has been live, I feel like we're hopefully entering kind of like phase 2 in terms of like, there's a lot of protocols building. There's a lot of stuff coming soon to launch. And I think we're about to enter that second phase where there's even more to do and like, some new primitives and all that stuff.
For sure. Yeah, definitely building up. I want to get this question Laziest Guy Ever asked here. Wasn't the Sonic Gateway going to facilitate bridging of chain native assets on a Sonic or something? I'm reading that in 2020.
That's what it does.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I haven't checked it in a while, but I know it's USDC, it's Ethereum, and I think you can move wrap Bitcoin through it, but I'd have to check.
I don't think they added wrap Bitcoin. I think there is another wrapper. Like
I think you're right. Yeah. I'm pulling it up right now just to take a look real fast.
By the way, parentheses, I hate that bridge. I think it's the worst bridging experience after Polygon, which is like Polygon is another piece of shit of a bridge. Like, what the hell? Like, what the fuck?
I used the Sonic Gateway once, and it was a little bit.
I got scared the first time that I used it because I'm like, why my money didn't arrive? Like and then you need to fucking claim it, bro. I'm like, come on. Like,
well, the bridge? That's the worst one, dude.
Yeah.
It makes you a fucking calendar invite. It creates a calendar invite because it's like, we know it's going to be like 3 months before you can claim this, so don't forget. That's annoying as hell, dude.
I use Hey Anon for bridging Sonic. Like I just Hey Anon and that's it.
That's perfect. That's exactly where I wanted to go. I want to talk about the other elephant in the room here being Hey Anon. Like Elapse has said here, the elephant in the room is Hey Anon. We also have another question about Hey Anon. What about the use case of Anon token in Hey Anon? Are you ready to answer that? He's putting your feet to the fire, bro.
Yeah, let's fucking go. So
destroy this guy.
I tell you something very cool. So I launched this funky thing called HUD. I called it HUD because I feel like it's like a drone hovering over a battlefield, you know, because the fucking trenches is awful. And I wanted to feel like in a Call of Duty. And in a way or in another, it just gives you this overview of what is happening in real time down the line. And it helps you for a lot of other stuff. Like and in general, I will open this parenthesis about AI because I would like that the conversation about AI and crypto would be a little bit more high level, because I've seen that everybody talks about agents, but like we're talking about scam agents. Like it's mostly like Gen Z just launching stuff and just trying to farm like momentum and things like that. But let's talk about AI, really talk about AI, in my opinion, because it's worth it, you know? Yeah. And there was this beautiful company that got recently acquired 4 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. It was called Windsurf AI. Windsurf AI was a competitor of Cursor, which is like a code editor. But what they did completely different than Cursor was reinventing and creating this idea that is called the AI flow. AI flow is what is really coming post-agentic. And now you really start to seeing it in action. And I give you some simple examples, like Chrome, Google I.O. that they just did. Chrome, they added Gemini built into Chrome, contextualized to the window. So it understands the environment. And the AI flow is the same. Is that the idea of correlating human interaction with AI interaction super highly contextualized to the place where you are. And this is really where the magical experience starts to happen with AI. Because when you look at the OpenAI, thinking about hardware, these hardware renderings and things have a camera. When you start looking at like Meta sunglasses, have a camera for contextualize, and this is general AI toolkits, right? So they're building things to overlay basically your life with general AI. So answering the general things. What I'm building is overlay your crypto life with highly hyper contextualized AI and execute upon it autonomously or dynamically. So this is where HUD comes into place, and was something that I always had in mind, but I just started. You guys know that I say something and then I just do, and then I come up with something else, and and that's all. My brain is just always constantly thinking about this stuff, and I feel like as people get better and better in a relationship almost with the AI, you started to have a trusted partner, you know, in things about life. And you guys are millennials like me. and almost for us, ChatGPT, at least for me, has become almost like a life advisor more than a Google search.
Yeah.
Like, and every generation has a different way to look at it. Like Gen Z instead is like a building advisor, like is a co-founder. Mm-hmm. You know, and for me, HUD is basically my help. Like I wanted to help me out on things that I can sometimes understand myself, but I need it quickly, or things that I always wanted to understand, like technical analysis with specific crazy indicators that I don't even fucking know, guys. But this shit knows, you know, like it's crazy. And that's where I really want to arrive, to say that to me, agentic AI, it's old. We are transitioning into this brand new era of coming into this human to AI interaction, which basically is the beginning of the robotic AI interactions, right? Contextualized. And this is where really I'm pushing the boundary here with finance in general, because there is no other company in the world that is doing financial AI flow. And now it bleeds, because now with the TradingView integration that is coming out in the next days, it bleeds out of the sphere of crypto and it comes into the traditional finance sphere. And you start thinking about, okay, what happens now? What the regulation does say? What does it mean to have custom AIs that understands charts, that understand flows, that understands like important news, like in real time? And all of what we are doing in our own little niche, which is crypto, it does literally one-to-one translate in a much bigger scale into the real world. And this is why I'm so excited about this new venture, because I was very happy fishing, guys. Like I was very happy fishing around the world, big GTs and tuna and everything. But but the point is that I'm building right now the fundamental pieces for the company that I want to be my legacy, which is how do you use AI, and how do you automate processes, and how do you create this human AI collaboration into the financial terms? And this is where Anon really comes into play.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the HUD especially is like an interesting idea where, you would possibly get to a point where you're looking at any chart and the HUD's, already kind of like figuring stuff out if you want to ask it anything, or, have it do TA or any of that stuff. I definitely think that's like a great direction where it's heading, because especially me being someone that's like, I do TA on charts just even subconsciously. I've been doing it for so long. I love that idea of being able to talk to something how you would like your ChatGPT app or your Claude app or whatever. So yeah, pretty excited for it, man. I think it's a great move.
Yeah, I'm not sure I completely understand the flow idea. So it's different from agentic because it's more of a generalized AI. It doesn't have like specific tasks, and it's just contextualized to a specific.
No. I will be more specific here. So agentic AI, the concept of agentic AI is to give an agent a task, and then this agent does whatever it needs to do autonomously out of your jurisdiction, basically, till it comes back with an answer. Okay? So that the best example of this, for people to understand it, real fucking example, not some idiotic stuff, is Perplexity. Okay? Perplexity is an agent. He goes around, he searches online stuff, blah, 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 and then he gives you an answer, especially Perplexity Pro. This is the point of an agent. You say, I need this, come back with the result. He goes, he does whatever. AI Flow, on the other hand, it's a conversation. AI Flow, it's basically having your friend next to you looking at something at the same time. It's and in the code editor, for example, in the example of them that sold, basically they were using ChatGPT. You understand? They were a wrapper of ChatGPT, but the concept was so powerful that they paid $3.8 billion to buy it. But they were using ChatGPT. OpenAI bought a thing that was using his own thing for $3.8 billion, just because the reasoning behind it is that it flew naturally. So while you're coding, there is ideas that come into your mind, and the conversation of like AI telling you, what about if we do it this way while you're doing it? That's AI Flow. Or what about if we change something a little bit what do you think about this? You reply, and you have this constant in and out of information. This is why it flows. You understand?
Like,
and this is where it
like an actual like advisor kind of role, as opposed to like a servant type role, where I'm like, just go do this. It's more
the extension of you. You understand? Like, and it's much more complicated because it needs to understand intention. That's a whole other level of development. Like in my small way of looking at things, there is in AI flow, there is a lot of like human opinion in reality, because it's highly valuable, but highly contextualized. But it's the prompt engineer that is working into this flow that is actually contextualizing everything to make sure that it fits intention. So it's right there where the boundaries, in my opinion, are being pushed so much, because it gets super interesting. Like it really gets like magical.
Danny, this is like awesome, because this is like I've been kind of playing around with AI stuff. I'm not nearly as informed as you on it, but from the beginning, I've always been entranced by this idea about it. And this flow thing seems to be kind of proof that we're moving in that direction. This idea that you could imagine you have a kid in 10 years, right, when AI is more fully developed. How likely is it that you would buy your kid like an iPhone, whatever bullshit tech they need, and it comes preloaded with an AI in it that is going to grow with them contextually, right? If we're talking about like contextual to your lived experience, right? Because you were talking about like millennials use them as like life coaches and shit sometimes, right? If it has the context about the patterns of your life, right? You're frugal, you're not frugal, it can probably provide way better advice to you than a general AI, right? Because it's been trained on your own.
Absolutely. You need to start with the thinking that general AI has the core, but we already moved past that because we added memory to it. Like even on Anon right now, like the next versions of Anon that is coming next week, what it does is when you do the login and you generate the wallet with the Web3 wallet, so instead of login, like you use a Web3 wallet, it takes the history of that wallet and learns from what you have done in the past. So it can present you with the way that you are used to bridge with. Like if you use Bungee all the time, by default, it will use Bungee. Obviously, it will say to you, like, would you like maybe here? Because it's going to be cheaper. But by default, it's going to use the same pattern that you use because that's your experience. That's your trust. And you cannot avoid that. And in the same way, what you're saying right now is like you're training a version of you in some way. And that's super cool. Like it's, I don't have like privacy concerns on this because I think it's so deep, like it's so unknown, like nobody can understand all these neural networks. Like nobody it's just the evolution. And the beauty of all of this is that I always said that the most beautiful moments in history have come with art. Like the Renaissance and all these moments in which art was really shining. It pushed the boundaries of the entire humanity just by highlighting beauty, like the wonderful beauty. And I felt in the moment in which we had the Ghibli moment on OpenAI, I felt like, oh, wow, maybe we're going on that direction again. We are unlocking beauty out of people, which is fantastic. And maybe that's really the catalyst, I
thought you were going a little bit of a different way because I think you might be honest. And that's a very good point that when you have these explosions of human creativity, like artistic production, it's because we're reaching some inflection point in civilization where things are reaching a new level or things are changing significantly, right? And you do see that a lot with AI. There's lots of AI art, but I was thinking you were going for something more like
Bananucci, monkey, tung 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 sahur.
I think this
Anomali mengerikan yang hanya keluar lirili larila. elefante nel deserto che cammina qua e là. Con la sua conchiglia è un bombardiro crocodilo.
Bombardiro
Un fottuto alligatore
coccodrillo.
volante che vola e bombarda. Trallallero, trallallà.
I mean, it's human expression, isn't it?
It is.
It's our resonance, Italian brain rot.
Italy's doing it for us again, pulling us out of the dark ages. So, which of these 5 Italian brain rots is your favorite?
Bombardiro coccodrillo.
What about you, Drac?
Well, I don't know Italian, so I mean, I kind of like the trallalelo tralala, but
Yeah, the classic.
yeah.
Dark with shoes, yeah. I like tongue.
You know, Tong Saur is the most funny for him is the no la polizia. You saw that one, no? No. You need to get that one. Like with him, and it's just super brain rot stuff.
Yeah, there was like a nice one right there. Yeah, people just were taking everything and running, just saying take anything and make it, you know, Studio Ghibli or whatever.
But
you know, like I feel like in this collaborative, and you see it very interesting in the latest development of Google, specifically into video development, that in reality we are moving, like everybody that say, but now everybody can make a movie. Fuck no, it's bullshit. It's like not everybody can make a movie, bro. Like not because you can write a couple of words, you can make an interesting story. And ChatGPT is not gonna fucking do it for you. That I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
But who can and didn't have the resources till now, it's capable of doing it with effort, but without the need of money, which was the biggest blocker of art ever.
Yeah.
Like especially visual art, you know. Like there is sculptors potentially that could have been the best sculptures in history, but have no money for marble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and now we're giving everybody marble to make their own sculpture. Like, and that's it's deep.
It is deep. It's complicated. There's dude. It's an awesome topic, and it's awesome why it makes so much sense why so many people talk about it all the time. I get a little fatigued sometimes, but it's because there's so many angles to attack this. Because it makes sense. You make a great point, Daniele. Like when we talk about like human development, right? It's always like resources are the problem, and that like we can't, you know, you don't have enough money, so we can't buy you paint, we can't buy you marble, we can't teach you how to play the flute, can't, you know, whatever. Now AI opening up so much more time so that you either can pursue these pursuits more directly or have it facilitate the process for you. But you see the people, it's hard not to sympathize or empathize a little bit with people that are like working artists who are like going to get put out of work. Although I think I'll probably just put a premium on their work.
No, I think a good working artist will be able to triple their client base because they have existing client base and actually be more productive. Like that's how I see it. Like the world is about to need more people. Actually, I think it's the opposite. People that actually want to do something, but there isn't many. So,
do you think those numbers are accurate? Where they're saying something like 10 to 20% all white collar jobs gone in the next 5 years, 10 years?
No, I don't think so. No,
I mean,
I think we are gonna. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I think it comes back to kind of like what you were saying, where it doesn't freak me out. Like I know people that are like especially when ChatGPT came out, there was like so much like doomerism, and you know, I think it's like what you were saying a few minutes ago. There's always gonna need to still be like at least that, like even if it's minute, there's gonna have to be like some kind of human element there to, you know, still make, like, you know, whether it's art or carrying out, you know, trades or I don't know, anything. Like there still has to be like at least like that tiny spark, if anything, you know.
I think I have my theory here, very simple. Like OpenAI or AI in general is an operative system. Okay, And this is Gen Z already is using it as an operating system right now, which is interesting to see. Now, because Windows existed as an OS, we had the browser. Because we had the browser, we had the web revolution. We had the games, applications. We had the iPhone. Just because we had Windows. Without Windows spreading everywhere, we wouldn't have fucking iPhones. I guarantee you. Like that's the point. Like now we are just having the first operating system. We don't know what is coming, but imagine because of Windows how many jobs we created. So something new will come along. Like it's not a big deal. It's just that we are evolving, and to me it's wonderful because I can be the leading. I can be pretty assuring that I'm the leading AI developer in crypto. Like there is nobody that is doing more than us in terms of AI, both AI and agentic. Like nobody, everybody that is saying something, I don't see it. Like I can't use it. So fuck you. You know, like I don't care. Like, can I use it? Can I click it? Yeah, fuck, bro. It's buggy sometimes. Yeah, it's called beta. It's buggy, man. Like, what can I say? But it doesn't send your funds to somebody else. This I can guarantee you, because those are the main things that I care about. But yeah, it's a bit buggy. Sometimes the line doesn't come. Sometimes it replies, fuck you, my hey Anon, I don't want to do this. Like, hey Dave, I don't want to do this. Like, but you know, but that's the part of building in public. But I'm actually building. Like today we are releasing Hyper EVM. I'm the only one. Like I'm releasing a Kraken API. Have you ever traded with on Kraken with AI? No, but you can today. You know, like how many times people want to do a DCA, for example, on a centralized exchange? There is nothing. You need to connect a fucking bot. You need to fucking find something. You're scared as fuck because who is these guys that have access? Today, new release. You write to the fucking thing on Kraken, buy Bitcoin every week. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every week. You will fucking do it.
So so on Kraken, you just need to like generate like an API key, and then you can just
without withdrawal permission. That's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's big to be able to do that right from like, you know, your Telegram window or whatever. You know, I think that's
so, like now is all these freaking components, you know, like I'm fucking cooking right now, and it's insane ragu, you know, like but it gotta like I'm putting everything in there, bro. Like and sooner or later, like it will transform into iOS Android app. We already submitted the paperwork for that, and then what do you need? Like you need just that simple ChatGPT style interface where you say, hey, I would like to buy Bitcoin every week, but I don't know how is the Bitcoin chart going. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Like I would like to get better entries if it's possible. Like I don't mind buying a little bit higher, but can you maybe wait 24 hours every time to see if we can get a better price?
Yeah, I like that.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
That's
you
awesome.
see HUD and Hey Anon together now.
Yeah. It's coming together, dude.
I mean, yeah, like you know, and that's I think the big part is removing just like if it can make your life easier and do something like that. Because even to this day, I mean, what you just said was like a great example. Because even to this day, you know, if you are looking for the best price, or you know, you're wanting to compare like centralized exchange prices with on-chain prices, I mean, you still have to do all this manually, you know, and it takes time and it's annoying. So in my mind, to be able to just enter something like that with like removing so much friction would be, you know, as you keep adding these integrations, it's only going to get deeper, you know, in what it can do. So
I think we just need a few use cases. Like the point now for me is like as I getting all this stuff nailed down to the perfection, you know, I will start to just use cases, you know, like that's it. Like because like you can have a pot of stuff, but not everybody want to eat meat. Not everybody wants fish. Like, it's a buffet, but you got to plate it for them, because if not, it's not going to work. Like, it's overwhelming. You know, it needs to be able to do everything, but it's almost too much already, you know?
Mhm.
So now I'm in that phase of refinement. Like, make sure that the things that it does it overwhelmingly good. You know, like very fast, very good, very responsive, and onboarding experience, other thing that I'm working on. And I'm really thinking deep about it, because it's like, what is the expectation of a person that enters and there is a chat box? You know, like what are they gonna ask? Like, and that is where you start really developing this onboarding experience, because I have only one chance. Now we are in beta. You know, everybody know. Some people say, Danny, why you don't do marketing? Bro, market what? I only have one chance to dominate. Okay? And that chance, I'm gonna take it when I open my fucking app and I say, holy fuck, this is insane. You know, like I'm shocked. I want to be shocked about my own shit. And then I have money. Treasury has money. Give me some time. What I did in 4 months, like a couple of months, and then I'm fucking dominate this shit, because I'm gonna be like, okay, then I send it to my most normie friend. That's my, like, the most, like, a random on the street.
Yeah, that's your
and I
test.
say, try to download this. What do you think? What are you gonna ask to it? And that's what I'm starting to do in the next week. I'm starting to go around to random people and ask them, what would you do? The first thing you would do. Like, and that's where I start getting all the ideas when I'm developing, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly it. Is like, you know, like I said, removing that friction where, you know, if someone can say just about, you know, what they're trying to do in their language, their words, and it knows what they're talking about, and there's not a bunch of like kickback and a lot of refining and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, like that's, you know, that's like when you're there, you know.
And voice. Honestly, may I say, I think it needs to be voice activated.
Bro,
like,
yeah, that would be really crazy.
Like, so, it needs to be, because it's
you're like, Jarvis, buy me a bag of fart coin.
Yeah, all the memes become real, dude.
I think like there is an intention, right? Like, if you want, I walk you through a little bit of my fucked up mind. So there is multiple users, but the hardest one is the one that has it has the intention of joining crypto. You know, like, it's not really clear of what crypto is, okay? But he saw that there is this app advertisement that says that this makes it easy, okay? Because that's the kind of advertising you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to be on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and say, like, this is the new app. It's ChatGPT for crypto. You can ask it anything. It will help you through your journey, okay? And then it downloads this app, and now it's confronted with... Right now, I don't like it, because it's confronted with a vomit of text. But I need it, because we are in beta, and who is using it, it's actively trying to participate, okay?
Yeah.
But the next user is not actively trying to participate. If I lose it, I lose it. So it arrives into a blank chat box. What is it going to ask? This is the question that I ask to myself all the time. And I guess that the first thing that it's going to ask is very likely, like, what am I going to buy that is going to pump? Yeah. You know, like, unfortunately, that is kind of like the first thing that someone... And you need to be able... It's true, come on, man. Like, that's the first thing, like, the most normie would ask. It's like, yo, buy me the thing that is going to make me 10x. Like, so now it's very challenging for me, because I'm here, right? And I'm like, okay, I have all this data, I have all these things. How do I reply in the nicest way possible to not break the dream? You understand? Mm-hmm. But still saying, what about if we start here? You know?
Yeah.
Welcome to your journey. Like, actually can be fun. Let's find it together. You know, like, what do you like? Like, do you like dogs?
real, you know, that's like real onboarding, you know?
But I know, but think about it. Maybe,
Yeah.
bro, maybe the cat person, and we could make an analysis of saying, okay, these are the cat coins. Mog is doing well. Maybe I cannot guarantee you returns on investments, but this fits your style.
Yeah.
What about if we take a look at the community sentiment right now? And here is a link. You can join their Telegram or their Discord. Have a look if you like the people there before buying. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this kind of idea. It's like trying to, it's like a little concierge, little salesperson almost.
Yeah. Like nothing fits everybody. Like, and it's the hardest. Like, I put myself in the hardest fucking job. Like, I realized that it's so fucking hard, but eventually it will pay off. Not, I don't say like in a crazy monetary way, because that could be also, but it will pay off into bringing attention to the right communities, which I like. Like, I think that's a good point.
So like what's on like the immediate, you know, like I know today you're saying Hype EVM and Kraken API are introduced. Like what's like down the road here, like in the immediate future?
Yeah, so I also submitted the version 0.13 HD, fixes a lot of bugs, but also I added support for DEX screener, which is very funny, because you saw that everybody was like, oh, Moby, blah, 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 DEX screener is shit. Yo, bro, I just made DEX screener more powerful than your Moby app.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's huge. Yeah. I love that.
You know, like, which is kind of funny, because people don't want to go to a new website. I don't want to go to a new website. I'm used to my fucking DEX screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to be there. So support for DEX screener, support for I don't even know, bro. I need to, because I'm already working on 1.5. So 1 second. Adding and showing lines, so you can show and take that off. I added pro indicators. So this is cool. Till now, the TA, when you request it, it's based on RSI, whatever is seeing on the chart, and whatever it can calculate by just looking. Yeah. Okay, because there is some parameters that it can look at and sort of calculate just based on shapes. Okay. Now what I added is this is the flow stuff. You see, like in the flow stuff is like, okay, I want to analyze this deeply. Okay, I want to really not just like a support resistant kind of like chilled analysis. I want to know, and this is particularly important for large cap, mid caps. And what it does in your own window on Hyperliquid or on DEX Screener or whatever you are on Chexes, this is support of MEXC now. Next is Kraken and Binance. It adds a related indicator based on the time frame that you're looking at, and is moving even time frame based on potential strategies. So it's changing it, for example, to a 4 hours or a daily or a 1 hour. It's adding indicator automatically into your trading view. And then, based on after he added those indicators, is giving you a print and talking to you, but it's giving you a print on how those indicators also correlate to each other, which is very interesting. Like when do they have convergence?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the converging points are usually the most interesting areas, and potentially project a strategy. And then based on that, I added these buttons that is like entry strategy, exit strategy, general strategy, and general outlook, and the points on which things can change. Why did I add the points of things can change, like relevant invalidation points? Because then you need to think it about architecture, right? And let's say that we have a price stream, which is the cheapest thing that I can get on the backend, so I don't need to charge people. So I have the inflection point that is also maybe an invalidation potential point. Then I create a condition on the backend that says if the price reaches this within a certain time period is below this, let's say 1 minute or whatever, then trigger the TA again.
Yeah.
Check it again. You see?
Yeah.
So now we have a dynamic, because you don't want this thing to just constantly checking. It's going to be insanely expensive. It's not really worth it for traders. But and then it touches to the other thing that I've been building, that is notification layer. So now we are in a trade, and our Anon HUD is aware that you are in the trade. So it's already aware of your price of entry, is already aware of your P&L. It has set some, for example, take profit targets, but it has an invalidation level. Alert. Let's call it like an alert level. When this invalidation level hits, then it triggers on the back end a TA analysis again. And it sends you a notification saying, with context of your trade and whatever it was before, whatever we discussed before about this TA, and say, listen, this is not looking great, but you are in profit, maybe there is this bounce. It could bounce a little bit. Why not? Because I tested it. It tells you this kind of shit. And it's like, it might bounce here because the RSI is oversold and this stochastic whatever my ass, I don't even fucking know these things. And it says, you might try to start take profit here a little bit higher, exit your position, and we're going to start setting a DCA lower. So we re-enter this trade because you like it. And this is the context. Anon needs to know that you have conviction on this. The point is there. It's trying to maximize your return on something that you like.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's huge. I mean, yeah, and that's kind of like where what you were saying earlier comes into play, where it's kind of like it's more like a conversation based around like, okay, like you want this token, like here's what you need to do. I'd be curious if it would, even find other similar tokens based on market cap or, something like that. That would be interesting. But no, I mean, it's more like a conversation,
Yeah, it sounds like
it's your friend.
It sounds like my broker or some shit. Especially if it's giving me notifications and I can do voice speak with my voice to it. Danny, get it to call me, dude, when I trade it in a bad position and it calls me.
I'm not joking. I added this. I added WhatsApp API support already to call you, bro, because it's and if you want, you can put your telephone number and you can put in the that it passes your do not disturb. Mm-hmm. So it just fucking if it hits certain problematic areas, you're touching grass, it's gonna fucking call you and say, bro, emergency here.
Emergency.
This is gonna change so many lives, dude. So many crypto guys are gonna not be so pasty and fat. They're gonna actually touch grass. They're gonna go fishing. They're gonna go golfing. They're gonna go mountain climbing because they can monitor their positions.
Well, everything, because it's also liquidations, any data stream. Liquidations on Aave, it could be you can set notifications on anything, and then it just translates and it fucking calls you, sends you WhatsApp, writes you on Telegram, sends you an email, calls your girlfriend, calls your mom, and say it's gonna get liquidated. And this is interesting because it's also part of the second part of the Anon that is non-agentic, because all of this came from my idea on how can I make you use the wallet that you already use but have these kind of features.
Yeah.
That and then it just creates this prompt and creates this notification. It calls you. You have a notification. You come in. It opens up your wallet, whatever ledger or whatever, and it's pre-prepared the transaction for you based on what you discussed before. So you can sign it completely with your Fantom or with whatever you want. You not necessarily need to be the full agentic experience, right?
Yeah, this is incredible, dude. I'm stoked. Can anyone just use Anon now? It's a completely open beta, right?
Yeah, you can use it right now.
Yeah. So anything
also HUD.
Just using it.
Also
right?
the HUD. Yeah,
Well,
the code for the HUD is I promise not to share this with a capital I. So if anyone is listening here, you got the code. You can use it. I promise not to share this with a capital I.
Yeah.
And the HUD is on the Chrome store, which is cool because they do a very good due diligence on every build. So that's why I can't like ship. It takes like 24 hours. It pisses me off. But yeah, every time I submit, I'm there waiting for them to update. But it's kind of like in the morning, and now we figured if we submit before a certain timeline, we get it into the morning at 11 in my morning. So it's fine. Like we're hacking everything.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, that's exciting then. So you can now play with the HUD, sign up over at heyanon.ai.
Yeah, just click. The cool thing is that now you can just generate a Hey Anon account with your wallet, MetaMask or whatever. So it just generates your new. There is even Ton on it. I'm adding Ripple, which might be the best thing ever, because maybe the Ripple army is just gonna be millions of people using Anon just to send one Ripple to each other. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you never fucking know. You know what I mean? Like it needs to be everywhere.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good approach. Well, we're over time here. Danny, do you have anything else you wanted to talk about today?
Well, I think that I hope that the Sonic ecosystem stays strong, and because I'm afraid that this price, and I see it's pulling down my price too, and it's all very like it's difficult because at this point I really feel, and I'm not saying like because it's my project, but I'm really feeling that if I were building this in Web 2, like raising with venture capitals and stuff, the valuation, the current 100 something million dollars of market cap would be like bullshit. Like I would be much higher in a VC raise, and it's pretty sad. And it's what it is. I understand that the market is what it is, but there is a limit on like the arbitrage literally sells. Like that's a problem. Like when you say they're not out of tokens, yes, fucking arbitraging. Like I can't do anything about it. Like it just bleeds, bro. Like it's horrible. Like and I really hope that and especially when Sonic approaches like 40 or 35 and stuff like this is where the entire community do worst. Like they start flooding hell.
It doesn't make
Alexandre Crogne.
It doesn't make any sense, bro. They're throwing gas in the fire.
Why? I don't understand. Like, please, guys, if you're listening, you're in the Sonic community, you should be bullish when it's like this, and you should be bearish when it's pumping too much. Okay? Because that's not good. Also, and yeah. Now it's I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 3 days or 4 days everybody will start saying like, "Oh, Andre, where is he?" Like he disappeared. Like and then like a Sonic Foundation, what are they doing? Why they don't buy back their own token? Why the fuck would they buy back their own token?
Like I said, it's a special kind of thing where it's like, like you guys aren't helping here. You gotta, don't fudge your own bags, work for your bag a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck, it's hard. But I'm bullish on Sonic Tech. And if nobody is doing a perp exchange, I will eventually do it. I just don't have time right now.
Yeah. Let's get that Bitcoin denominated perp exchange rolling. That would be sick.
I would love it, honestly. Like I think it would be great. That's what people want. Like even a closing remark, like Hyper EVM, you will see that the participation will be less than Hyperliquid itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Like because it's app versus layer. Like the app is one thing, and people go there because it's Binance, but without KYC, which has a huge value.
Yeah.
Hyper EVM, it's a one other thing. Like what we need on Sonic is basically an Hyperliquid app, like a reason for people. What people do on Solana is exclusively pump fun.
Yeah.
BNB just buys back. I mean, like it's the infinite machine of fucking. Yeah, it's indestructible, that thing. Like it's just, nobody uses it, but it's just billions of buybacks. Like, I mean, it's gonna go to, eventually it's gonna buy them all. Like really, like it's just, it won everything.
Well, man, we really appreciate you coming on today. It's been a while, so we'll bring you back on whenever you want. Even if you just want to come hang out sometime. Had a blast.
I'm very happy anytime. Thank you very much for having me. Love you guys. Love everybody.
GMSONIC is Corval and Dracula Presley. GM.